What if the reason you can't fall asleep has nothing to do with stress, bad luck, or just being an overthinker, and everything to do with how you've accidentally trained your brain? Most people assume sleep is passive. You lie down, close your eyes, and it should just happen. But sleep is not passive, it's biological timing plus behavioral patterns. And if those two are misaligned, your brain will happily replay every embarrassing moment from 2014 instead of letting you rest. The good news is this isn't some personality flaw, it's a systems problem. And systems can be fixed. Let's start with the first and most powerful habit, anchoring your circadian rhythm. Your body runs on an internal clock that operates almost entirely on light signals. Every morning, a tiny region in your brain responds to sunlight and starts a countdown towards sleep roughly 14 to 16 hours later. When you wake up at wildly different times, or you don't get real sunlight early in the day, that countdown becomes inconsistent. Then at night, you're confused about why you're not sleepy. It's like changing time zones every few days and expecting your body not to feel jet lagged. The solution is simple but non negotiable. Wake up at the same time every day and expose your eyes to natural light within the first 30 minutes, even if you slept poorly, especially if you slept poorly. Consistency trains your brain. Randomness confuses it. When you anchor the morning, the night starts to fix itself. The second habit has to do with temperature, and most people completely overlook this. To fall asleep, your core body temperature has to drop slightly. It's one of the strongest biological signals for sleep onset. If your room is too warm, if you're buried under thick blankets, or if the air feels stagnant, your body interprets that as daytime conditions. So your brain stays alert. Surprisingly, taking a warm shower before bed actually helps because it pushes blood toward the surface of your skin. When you step out, your body cools faster, accelerating that temperature drop your brain needs. Keeping your room slightly cool, using lighter bedding, or even letting your hands and feet stick out can dramatically improve how quickly you drift off. Sleep isn't just about comfort, it's about giving your nervous system the right signals. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, scrolling. Most people don't struggle with insomnia, they struggle with stimulation. Short-form videos are engineered to spike dopamine over and over again in rapid succession. Bright light hits your eyes, novelty floods your brain, and suddenly it's 2 hours later. The problem isn't just the time lost, it's that you've told your brain to stay alert, and then you expect it to shut down on command. That's not how biology works. Instead of forcing yourself to quit instantly, ease out of it slowly. Move from short videos to longer content, then transition to a movie. Eventually switch to an audiobook or podcast so there's no bright light involved. At the same time, use screen time limits and, if possible, let someone else set the password. Nighttime discipline is weak. Systems are stronger. The goal isn't perfection, it's reducing stimulation step by step until your brain no longer feels like it's at a party when it's supposed to be asleep. The fourth habit is creating a darkness ritual. Melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep, rises in response to darkness. But most people keep their homes lit up like a supermarket until the second they climb into bed. Then they wonder why their brain feels wired. About an hour before bed, start dimming your environment. Turn off harsh overhead lights, avoid laptops, lower the general energy of the room. This isn't about being dramatic, it's about gradually telling your nervous system that the day is ending. Make tea, do light tidying, journal, stretch, shower. Let the environment shift before you expect your brain to shift. When darkness increases slowly, melatonin rises naturally and sleep stops feeling forced. Finally, there's caffeine. And this one hurts because most people underestimate it. Caffeine blocks adenosine, the chemical that builds sleep pressure throughout the day. Even if you can fall asleep after drinking coffee at 5 p.m., your sleep quality is likely compromised. Caffeine lingers in your system for many hours, reducing deep sleep without you even realizing it. Setting a hard cutoff time, ideally around 2 p.m., protects your nighttime recovery. Sleep isn't just about how fast you fall asleep, it's about how deeply you stay asleep. And caffeine quietly interferes with that depth. Here's the bigger picture. None of these habits require superhuman discipline. They require alignment with biology. Anchor your mornings, cool your body, reduce stimulation, dim your environment, respect caffeine timing. If you consistently apply these, you won't just fall asleep faster. You'll wake up feeling clear-headed, stable, and actually rested. Good sleep isn't something you're born with, it's something you train. And once your brain learns the rhythm, it becomes automatic. That is it for today, guys. See you in the next one.